That's good to know.
The recent UFO photos released by.
Yeah, what do you think of those?
I don't know.
Nobody cares because everyone's worried about coronavirus.
Would you
think
ever run for
UFOs are
president?
real?
Would I ever?
Or have a career in politics?
I mean,
you
know
would
how
be a
much
great
money-
you would be a great president of the United States.
You'd be a great
I'd have to tone it down.
politician.
I'd have to tone down some of the ridiculous things I say.
I don't
No,
think
you
so.
would.
You gotta ramp it up.
You're nowhere near. You're nowhere near Donald Trump's level.
Yeah, but God, it's what a problem he is for himself. I mean, that's the whole problem. It's like the whole narcissism thing.
I love the story you used
say
to tell about when he got elected when you were in prison, and all the prisoners' reaction to him getting elected.
They were so furious. They were so funny. Yeah, they were upset.
Didn't
A
you,
lot
like,
of
announce it
guys
to them or
were
something?
perfectly happy.
Yeah.
So, but the bulk of them. And what's so funny is that the Trump administration has probably done more for prisoners than.
More for prisoners?
Yeah.
Really?
Absolutely.
How so?
I got time off my sentence
Because of him. Yeah.
because of him. Lots of people did.
Because
Now,
of
I didn't
Trump?
I was supposed to get something like 3 months or something.
Not Kanye West
You-
and Kim K. They're
Is it-
freeing all them people from prison.
They are.
Could
I
have
don't
freed
understand
Matt
what's
Cox.
happening. What?
He's eating crab
He's just
shells.
eating crabs and he's fucked
Okay.
up.
He's not even crab. He's just eating the shell.
He's chewing on the shells.
There's some meat in these. You never ate
There's
crab
meat
before?
in these there shells.
Okay.
Yeah, Donald Trump signed one of the bills he
Crab
signed.
legs.
The BOP used to short you about 7 days every year. Mm-hmm. And so what happened is all these other administrations were like, we're going to fix that. We're going to fix it. And they never did. Obama had 2 terms, never fixed it. Mm-hmm. Trump comes in within a year or so. He's like, yeah, fuck it. Let's fix that shit. What do I have to sign? Write it up. Sure, no problem. Boom. Guys are getting 4 months off their sentence, 6 months, a year. I was supposed to actually get several months, but I was already in the halfway house by the time it happened. I ended up getting a few weeks. Well, I was actually supposed to get a few months. But yeah, so I mean, it's look, they're letting tons of people out right now because of the coronavirus.
Yeah, in other countries though. In this country?
No, in this one,
Really?
half the women in the camp, in all the camps, if you did 50% of your time in the camps, or in Coleman, they were letting the girls go.
Wow.
If you did 50% of your time, and you were nonviolent, well, most women have nonviolent crimes, so they're almost all nonviolent.
Yeah.
So yeah, guys are getting out left and right. Also on compassionate relief, he also signed in the Second Chance Act. He's signed a ton of bills. I mean, look, it just doesn't make sense to keep some nonviolent guy, give him 20 years and keep him in jail for 20 years because he filled out some paperwork and some people lost some money, and that's horrible. Great, get him out, let him start paying it back.
Yeah.
No, we're gonna give him 20 years.
I feel like they could have taken you and made you like an intern for the CIA instead. Made you like an unpaid intern for it.
Why is it always
foreman.
unpaid? I still
This-
have bills.
You could have been-
Nobody wants to pay me.
You could have been
I'm
like
supposed
a-
to-
Why don't
What
they
I
want to
sleep on a
pay you,
bench?
man?
You could have
What
been
am I
a
supposed
you
to
could have
do?
been like a low paid intern for the
Why is
Secret
it gotta-
Service.
I mean, I don't have a
At
problem.
least
with
you would
that.
have been doing something productive
him
other than
something.
just sitting in prison.
Right. I don't have a problem with that. But first of all, you realize how much cheaper.
And
it
then
is-
once you've done that for a certain amount of time,
How come- you know how much cheaper it is to keep someone on probation than it is to incarcerate them?
how much cheaper?
I don't know. It's got to be significant. I don't know the actual number, but I do know that I'm paying for all my own bills and everything instead of the BOP paying. It's probably only a couple $1,000s per year, as opposed to $30,000 to keep you incarcerated. Because $30,000 to keep me incarcerated in the federal system, it's probably only a couple grand to keep you on probation.
A lot of people are saying Trump 2020 in the chat.
What about we need Amadeo? When does Amadeo get out of prison? When does he get out of prison?
You need an Amadeo Matt Cox bill.
Shaman smoking that jet fuel.
Oh, nice.
No, he's been eating those fucking gummies, those hundo milligram gummies.
And those 100 milligram crab legs.
Yeah.
Crab legs just leveled me back out to plane
Let's-
0. I'm back to
Equal.
I'm back to when I
Goddamn.
walked in here.
There's
I
literally
just started all over.
there's
now.
crab fragments all over this area right now from Shane eating all those crab legs.
You ordered it.
No, I'm not
Letting
complaining.
it
I'm
waste.
just saying.
You paid for it.
All this
The
crab.
listeners paid for
No
it.
one to share it with. All right, let's wrap this up.
Well, wait, we got to find out when Amadeo's getting out.
When's he getting out? He's going to do this podcast this weekend.
It's
Calling us soon with our Inside Connect, Johnny Appleseed.
Oh,
Thanks for calling in. What a coincidence that he calls in
How good is
live
that
from
shit?
Coleman. That they're
Oh
gonna
my
think we
God.
planned that, but we didn't.
it's a conspiracy.
That's a close friend. That's an old pal.
I got
Kyle
it. I
Roberts
got it.
just
He
gave
gets
$10.
out.
What?
No.
Are you kidding
Plot
me?
twist: Matt leaves Danny and goes to work for name I can't mention.
So look, so he gets out July 26, 2028. So we need Amadeo
Kyle
for president
Roberts?
2028.
2028.
Amadeo for president 2028.
Yeah,
that's
we
perfect
need it.
too.
We gotta vote for
because
president.
that's
Amadeo for emperor.
I'm
Emperor.
sorry, Emperor. You're right.
Emperor.
Amadeo for Emperor 2028.
2028.
Nice. That's the way to go. We need shirts, and then we need different shirts with different quotes.
All right, we can make that happen for
Yeah,
sure.
that's huge.
Thank you, Kyle Roberts.
Well, we got enough
Thanks,
money here
Kyle.
for you to like start running and
Start a campaign.
start a campaign, get some commercials out, get some yard signs going.
This has been a great podcast, Matt. I hope you enjoyed
My
your
favorite
crab
one.
legs and your potatoes and your corn and your boiled
That
peanuts.
sausage.
It was great to be able to sit next to you too and
Yeah. What do you think about Luke?
hang out.
It's
Matt-
like, you know what's so funny?
Matt,
It's
what do
like-
you think about meeting Luke for the first time?
I think Luke's great.
What do you think
We
about
it's a privilege sitting next to you.
Replacing
Can-
Hat Rack with Luke.
What do you
I
think?
have yet to have him not get fucked up the whole fucking time. You know what kills
Every
me?
time we
way to
do a
be around
podcast,
you.
you always make sure that he's going to be here.
We need a sounding board. You're too, pencil protector. You're
He's a little rigid.
yeah. You're we need somebody to kind of be like, hey, what's up?
He's like, I prepared for this. Here's my questions, and let's answer them.
Danny never prepares for nothing.
And that's the worst part.
It just
Ask
kills.
Matt.
It kills. Yeah, he's completely unprepared. It kills me the whole sitting next to you. Somebody will send me an email or something and be like, hey man, and I'll swap a couple of comments and then I end up talking to them on the phone. Bro, it's so amazing to be talking to you, and it's so this and so, and I just feel like I'm just some douchebag that just got out of fucking prison. And you're like, I'm like a huge fan. I
emailed
That's
this
crazy.
I emailed this dude and he responded to me.
Right.
And next thing I know, I'm an internet superstar.
That's Danny. Danny made me an internet superstar.
How's it feel?
And he has no problem taking complete credit for it.
And all the money that's been given in the chat.
Yeah. And you've been on Vlad TV. You've been
Vlad,
on what's the other one? Valuetainment.
Valuetainment.
Bubba.
Some rich weirdos flew you down to the Cayman Islands for like an interview.
It was Puerto Rico.
Oh, sorry.
Whoa.
Oh,
Get it right.
Some fucking rich dudes flew him down to Puerto Rico to give like a 2-hour seminar.
Oh, and you know what happened?
What happened?
I didn't tell you this. This is, I think it's serendipity, right? Serendipity? It's where it's like, wow, it's like everything. Literally a couple days before that, I get a phone call from someone who says,
How much they pay you? $1,000?
no, in Puerto Rico?
Yeah.
$1,600. And the plane ticket, and I stayed overnight at a very nice hotel. And they were great.
Oh, okay.
So, but this is the cool part. Listen to this. The cool part is this, is that a couple days beforehand, I get a phone call from somebody saying, hey, look, I know this lawyer. I just met this lawyer. Did I tell you this?
Everybody knows him. I don't think so, no.
Okay. So here's what I'm not going to stop this time. So what happens is the lawyer, I know a lawyer, entertainment lawyer. I told him about you. I checked it out. I read the whole thing. He went to the website. He checked out the website. Then he called somebody that he represented. Okay, great. So they talked to this woman named Ann, and she's a producer. And so he goes, she wants to have a meeting with you. She's checked out your channel and all this stuff. She wants to talk. She does a bunch of movies. And I said, okay, cool. And I go, when can she talk to you? And I said, well, she can't talk to me on Tuesday or Wednesday, whatever it was. I said, because I'm going to Puerto Rico. And he goes, you know what? She's in Puerto Rico right now.
Oh, the
doing a
Netflix
movie."
lady.
Yes. And I was like, well, I'm going to be in he goes, so she's in Puerto Rico right now. Where are you going? I go, well, San Juan. He goes, let me make a couple calls. They make a couple calls. Next thing I know, they call back. They go, she can meet you in Puerto Rico. She's going to be there anyway. At that night, she's shooting all day, and at that night she can meet you. So I go and I meet the guys, right? They pay me the $1,600. I get into an Uber. I then go to San Juan.
How do they pay you?
Zelle.
Zelle.
Zelle?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Gotcha.
Zelle.
Like Chase Quick Pay.
Yeah. So then I get an Uber. I go to the Vanderbilt Hotel. Nice fucking hotel, by the way. I could have lived in the bathroom. It'd be the nicest fucking place. I mean, it was amazing. So I meet with her. I spend 3 hours with her, and that's when I met the guy, Kevin, the guy from Entourage, Kevin. I don't know. Why can't I say it? What's his name? Kevin Connolly. Kevin Connolly. He plays E in Entourage. So I meet him. He's there. I meet her. I meet the other producer. We talk for 3 hours. So we talk for like 3 hours. She's super cool. And so we have dinner. And she ends up saying, look, we're going to look over your content. I like you. I like the content that I see. I definitely think we can do something. I'll be in touch. And I was like, okay, I don't think much of it. So, but, I don't think anything's going to come of it. So what ends up happening is, like, 2 weeks later, I send her a text. And she goes, oh, my gosh, we were just actually, yesterday, we were going to call you. We looked over your stuff. I needed to call you. I'm so glad you. So I get on the phone. I talk to her a couple times. A week later, I talk to her. She hooks me up with this other guy. And with this guy from Zero Gravity, and then Zero Gravity comes in. They say, look, we want to represent you on these 2 stories, and we'd like to manage you. And that's where I'm right now. We've had a bunch of phone calls, and I'm supposed to sign a contract with them to manage some stuff.
And you only got to pay us $5,000 a month. We take 30% of all the money you make.
Nobody's paying. None of that's happening. That's Danny's thing. That was a great trip, and that's.
I think those like producers are so weird. It's such like a thing of the past. Like to be like I'm a Netflix producer. Yeah, let's meet. Let's go have lunch.
It's Netflix.
We can talk about our new series that we're going to produce. Sign a shopping agreement with us, and we'll try to pitch you to HBO. And
you telling me that if a producer from Netflix or from Blumhouse came in and said, "Look, we want to turn your thing into a this," you'd be like, "Hey, enough with you.
Hey, I'm good.
Not interested in a Netflix series. I'm Danny, and I'm doing my thing, and I'm not. Come on." You'd be like, well, let's talk about.
Well, let's look at this from a different perspective. Okay, let's say that this is actually a successful podcast.
Let's pretend this is successful.
Let's pretend that. Okay. First of all,
wait. Somebody just dropped $90. Wait, somebody just dropped $90 and says Danny has to eat one of Shane's old crab legs. Keep up the good content. So
hang on, I want to make a point.
Hey, pick up a shell.
I'd like to make a point.
You gotta pick up a shell.
Ain't no meat left in there,
Ain't no meat in there, boy.
Fuck, you fucking refund your $90, bitch. Let's pretend that this is a successful goddamn Jack Daniels and crab legs.
You sick fuck.
You sick, Kyle. Kyle.
God damn you. Was that Cal Roberts who gave that $90?
Yeah.
Oh, you fucking.
Come on, man. You gotta at least nibble on one.
Nasty.
You gotta at least pick it up.
Oh, man.
If you can convince Miss Sniffin to come on the podcast, then I'll do it.
Just pick it up.
Oh, there's some meat left in that leg right there.
I'm not touching that leg.
You just touched it. Just put it up to your lips.
Let's pretend that this was a successful podcast on YouTube.
Halfway decent.
It'd be successful if you had some crab legs in your mouth.
Let's say that this was, for example, a Joe Rogan style podcast that got every episode got 1 million views, right?
Right. I saw Joe Rogan have a crab.
Why hasn't he taken a deal with Netflix or one of these things?
$50 million a year.
Dun, dun, dun. There you go. He didn't sign the deal with the devil. He makes his own money. He fucking creates his own content. He owns everything that he does. He has all of his own subscribers. He doesn't have anyone wearing a tie telling him what to fucking do.
I understand, but you think that that's what's going to happen here. It's not that I'm not impressed.
No, the point is it's not going to happen here. It happened with it would happen with someone that was on his level. He controls everything he does.
Right.
He's not going to have no one like Netflix can offer him anything that's worth anything.
Because he made 50. If it was Joe Rogan and he
Miss
made
Willis and
$100,000 a year.
Sorry, that's another conversation.
If it was Joe Rogan and he made $100,000 a year and Netflix came in, I think he'd take it.
Yeah, but the point is they wouldn't offer him that if he was only making $100,000 a year because he wouldn't have enough viewers to make any kind of difference on Netflix's fucking scale. On their meter, it wouldn't do anything for them.
Why am I not understanding? Is this me?
Yeah, you're not understanding it. You're completely missing it.
I am missing it.
You are.
I'm saying that you have an opportunity to have a Netflix series. God knows what they're going to pay you. God knows the exposure. It would be amazing exposure. It could probably be a great payday. It might run for 10 years.
Look, I think it's cool for people that made the Tiger King documentary because they spent 5 years filming and producing something that never saw the light of day, right? Nobody saw it. But for example, if you're someone who's creating stuff that's being published all the time and you're kind of like building a brand and you're building an audience.
But are you building that brand to ultimately kind of go to the next level or just continue on?
Yeah, definitely go to the next level. You're always trying to go.
Level?
You're always trying to go to the next level.
Is the next level what?
The next level is just the next is gaining more of an audience, building a stronger brand. That's the next level, is just constantly trying to grow what you have and make it stronger, make it bigger.
So if someone said, "Hey, we like what you've done with deckhands, and we're thinking about taking some of those characters. We'd love to turn that into a Netflix series about guys with alcohol problems who work on boats, and we think that'd be great. And would you be interested in working with us on some type of series?" You'd say
different. That's different because Deckhands was like a one-off series that we did.